Parajita Sarangi, while the BJP in the national capital is training its guns on the Aam Aadmi Party and trying to fix responsibility of what is the infrastructure of a city which clearly is fraying at the edges. The question, Parajita Sarangi, that parliamentarians are raising inside the building is the visuals on your television screen, a building that was constructed with over 970 crores. The first rain that it sees in the monsoon session develops leaks.
I'll talk of both the issues, Preeti. You have talked of the situation in the capital city owing to the unprecedented level of rain and of course the leakage that we saw in the Parliament building. See, number one, let me tell you that whatever is happening in Delhi, on the streets of Delhi, mother and child getting drowned, children getting electrocuted, 3 students as IAS aspirants dying in old Rajendra Nagar, these should not have happened had civic issues been taken care of. Now this is a continuous process. Here we must know that in Delhi, there are about more than 164 councillors and there are more than 60 MLAs of the Aam Aadmi Party. We also have the entire administrative machinery of the Municipal Corporation of Delhi and of course the officials of other civic agencies. It's extremely important to ensure that just before the rains start, we know when the rains are coming. Just when the rains start, just before that, in fact, all the drains need to be desilted, one. Number two, wherever coverage of drains is required, all the drains need to be covered, extremely important. Wherever there are gaps in the system, in the sewerage lines, all these gaps have to be plugged. So I think some kind of anticipation exercise needs to be done and then certain short-term measures have to be taken before every rain. But there are certain long-term measures which have to be thought of. There has to be a comprehensive drainage development plan for the city. I was also the Municipal Commissioner of Bhubaneswar, which I represent now as Member of Parliament. So I think I have some little experience of how things are done as far as civic issues are concerned. So I think this is absolute laxity on part of the Delhi government as well as the corporation body of the Delhi, of Municipal Corporation of Delhi. That is one part. Now there is also, I heard the BJP chief talking about the non-availability of pumps. Madam Atishi also went and inspected certain places, but I think there was non-availability of pumps everywhere. Water has to be drained out. How? How does the water come out? Pumps have to be there in adequate number and in running condition. Now I think the 2 ministers, we are aware of the 2 ministers, Madam Atishi and Sri Saurabh Bharadwaj, both of them have to work in convergence. All the relevant departments have to work in convergence so that the people of Delhi are safe and sound and they do not have this kind of experience as they had. This is one part. Number two, now I come to the Parliament part. Just give me about 30-40 seconds. Now here we have heard the Central Public Works Department officials today. We also have communication from the Lok Sabha Secretariat. When the Lok Sabha Secretariat issues a communication, it is backed by, genuity, I would say. It is backed by evidence, I would say. A CPWD official has been quoted. There are glass domes. Let's remember there are glass domes, you can see, because we wanted it to be a green parliament. A wonderful work has been done. A wonderful building has come up. We are all definitely much more comfortable. And this particular parliament building belongs to the people who have criticized the likes of Manikam Tagorji and Akhilesh Yadavji, and it also belongs to me. I'm also a parliamentarian with absolutely no bias, not because I belong to a certain political party, the ruling dispensation, I must say, that the glass domes started leaking because the silicon got eroded due to unprecedented heat of the summer and of course the heavy rains. So I think we have to understand it just erosion of the silicon which was immediately kind of repaired. and there was absolutely no problem thereof. It can happen anywhere in any building, whatever the architecture, whatever the design.
All
So
right.
I think
But Aparajita
technical people
Sarangi,
of
as I
City
widen the
Government have
scope of the
explained, and
debate,
I
I'm
think
going to
we need
just
understand.
point out a few things. Because yes, the leak in the building is nothing compared to what's gone down in the national capital. But I'll tell you how this is a classic way of passing the buck. And I'll just give you an example and bear with me. Because what happened inside the parliament, you said very clearly that the Lok Sabha Secretariat has come out and explained why it's happened. It was the adhesive, especially where the glass panels were concerned, and that got washed away in the incessant rainfall. Therefore, this leak in a building which was spanking new and has cost the country and the exchequer and people like, common citizens of the country over 970 crores. Number one. Number two, you speak of what's going on in Delhi, the national capital. You are very right that the Aam Aadmi Party has its task cut out and questions that it needs to answer. However, the Aam Aadmi Party is turning around and also passing the buck where the BJP is concerned, where they say that the mother and the child duo that passed away, unfortunately, drowning in a storm drain, were the responsibility of the DDA. That drain was under construction by the DDA, and that comes not under the MCD or the Aam Aadmi Party. Ultimately, Aparajita Sarangi, collateral in all of this is the citizen of this country. And Akshay Marathe, the one clear question that needs to be asked of the Aam Aadmi Party, which Aparajita Sarangi also elucidated in the number of deaths and the mayhem we've seen on the national capital, is every rain, it's the same story. And every time there is a new plan that the Aam Aadmi Party draws up, and now questions are being raised that other than passing the buck on neighboring states, on officials who are not working, on the LG, will the Aam Aadmi Party ever stand up and take responsibility? Why wasn't desilting done of the drains right before the monsoon session?
These are all great questions, Preeti, and I think let me answer piece by piece. Number one, as the saying goes, with great power comes great responsibility. Unfortunately, in Delhi, the great power lies with the BJP central government, and let me tell you why. The Supreme Court gave the Aam Aadmi Party government entire power over the functioning of the state government, including over the transfer and posting of bureaucrats. Who runs the administration? It is the bureaucrats. So in April of this year, when the Aam Aadmi Party government was trying to take account of the desilting, what does desilting mean? The drains which are supposed to carry the storm water, the desilting process is basically clearing up those drains and allowing the water to go through. But when the Aam Aadmi Party government tried to get accountability from the bureaucrats whose job it was to ensure that this desilting has happened, the bureaucrats refused to take any action against the contractors who were supposed to do the desilting. They refused to even come with the minister. Our minister Saurabh Bhardwaj was requesting the secretary responsible to come with him and inspect those desilting procedures, but the bureaucrat refused. Why did the bureaucrat refuse? Because after the Supreme Court's verdict giving power to the Aam Aadmi Party government, the central government passed an ordinance taking back control over all Delhi services to itself. So we are a government that has been elected by the people of Delhi, but we do not have the power to hold the bureaucracy accountable to us.
Tell me something, Akshay. Then every 5 years, when the Aam Aadmi Party goes and seeks vote, and it's a credible question that the citizens of the national capital will ask you. When you campaign and you say vote for Arvind Kejriwal, you must also campaign with a disclaimer and saying even if he comes to power, and to quote you, Akshay Marathe, is that the power actually lies with the BJP, so might as well vote the BJP then. Then why vote a political party that in times of crisis is only going to turn around and say the power lies with the BJP? We have nothing to do with it.
Preeti, interestingly, what I'm describing has happened in the last 2 years. The ordinance has come up in 2021. If we were to pass the buck before 2020, then you could have said that why are you going into elections again? But this has not happened before the last election. This has happened only now in the last 2 years. And we have not sit tight, putting our hands on our laps and just waiting for things to get better. We went to the courts. The courts actually ruled in our favor. So we are not putting our hands up and saying we cannot do anything. All we are saying is that if the BJP wants to concentrate all the power in its own hands, which is in the public domain, I'm not letting out any secret. You have reported it. The BJP has taken control of Delhi's bureaucrats. So then when it comes to taking accountability, why does the BJP point fingers at the Aam Aadmi Party? This is very convenient for them. It is very
Many
convenient to
would,
them to
okay,
say,
Akshay
okay, we will
Marathe,
keep
many
all the
would
power,
say it's a
but
marriage of
questions have to
convenience
be
then.
answered by the
Because
Aam Aadmi Party.
if you ask the BJP, even where the DDA responsibilities are concerned, they will blame the Aam Aadmi Party and vice versa. So it's a marriage of convenience. Okay, I'm joined.
No,
allow me to
Preeti,
open up the panel.
let me just one line.
So allow me to open up the panel. Please, I'll come back. I have Manikam Tagore. He's an MP of the Congress. He's the one who actually filed an adjournment motion at the back of what he said was water leaks inside the parliament, paper leaks outside the parliament. Mr. Tagore, you know, to basically move an adjournment motion on the issue of a leak because of rain in the parliament, what made you do so? Many would suggest it's an infrastructural problem. Why politicize it?
Yeah, it's very important because the parliament is a very important institution, and we have to know that earlier in the old parliament in 2010 also there was a leakage, and there was the present member of parliament, Gurugram has raised it in the floor of the house, and there was the Honorable Speaker, Ms. Meera Kumarji, has appointed a committee to look into it, and in that all-party committee was there with Home Minister Mr. Chidambaram, Parliamentary Affairs Minister Mr. Pawan Bansal, and the senior leader of BJP, Mr. L.K. Advani. Therefore, it's not a new thing, it is happening today. The whole parliament, 80-year-old building that has happened. The problem is that it is a 1-year-old building, and in 1-year-old building, we were able to see that when after yesterday's rain, there was water flowing into it. In the ground floor, there was a lot of water. This part of the lobby area, where a few feet from there, you will see a door there, that is the Prime Minister's chamber itself. Therefore, it's a very serious thing, and we can't just move on and go about it, because they told that they had built this parliament with all new facility, new kind of safety norms, everything is fine. Because therefore only I moved a German motion. As usual, we know that the government is very arrogant, and the government is not ready for a genuine discussion on the issues which when we take up to them. And earlier parliament, we were able to do it in 2014, 16 parliaments. But now 16, 17 and 18 doesn't allow that thing. That's the sad part of the Indian democracy. Here only one man calls all shots, and nobody else is allowed to speak.
All right, Aparajita Sarangi, you alongside Manikam Tagore, the Member of Parliament. One might suggest what you said was this is a small issue, and as the Lok Sabha Secretariat elucidated, it will be fixed. But the fact is, on the larger issue, Aparajita Sarangi, you know, citizens of this country have paid for this 970 crore spanking new building, and a building which could not withstand the first bout of monsoon itself. Why shouldn't we as a country and as citizens of this country feel cheated?
With all regards for Honorable MP Manikam Tagoreji, I would like to put forth 2 points. Number one, in 2010, the old Parliament building had got submerged. And we have the pictures of those days with us. At that point of time, the Congress never came out and blamed the Britishers for a bad construction, right? Right now, I understand 970 crores spent. I understand it's just 1 year old. The Parliament building belongs to all the parliamentarians, all of us. And it is the biggest temple of democracy. All of us are proud of it. But let me tell you very candidly that Mr. Tagore must understand that there was adhesive on the glass dome. Glass dome was constructed because we wanted light to come through. The idea was to construct a beautiful green parliament building, and that's why open domes, rather I would say the lighted domes came up. And then ultimately, let me tell you, even during the daytime when you go till the late hours into the evening, you will find light coming in through those glass domes. Now, the adhesive got off, the silicone got off, and that is why this particular thing happened. CPWD, who has a very strong technical, I would say they have the expertise, they came forward and gave the statement that immediately they got to know of this and they went and repaired the thing, and this would not happen again. We would try our level best. It happened because of intent intense heat followed by heavy rains. So I think this entire thing has to be properly understood, and let us not indulge in blame game. Let's not indulge in dirty politics. The Parliament building belongs to me. It also belongs to you. Any other political party MP it belongs to. So I think cutting across party lines, let's think about the whole thing very logically and very scientifically.
Okay.
When the technical people have put forth their views.
But Aparajita Sarangi, Amanikam Tagore, would you want to respond to that? Because the charge is don't politicize it. This is a building. It was an infrastructural issue. It belongs to you as much it belongs to Aparajita Sarangi and as much as it belongs to the citizens of this country.
The thing is, the main important thing we have to understand is that when the parliament was built, no opposition leaders were consulted. No, when it was the foundation laying stone was done, no opposition leaders were not even invited. When the inauguration took place, only one man. Before that, there was pictures released before 2-3 months that Mr. Modi is visiting that building which is been built because of him. Therefore, let us not say that thing that it is all has been consulted, everything has to be known. We should not do politics under this. We were not doing politics. We were just watching. When President of India was also kept away from these kind of things, and when what happened to the inauguration also, we know it. But we are very clear that when these kind of things happen, when water pours into it in the first monsoon, crores of rupees are put on mat now. What will happen when? Why there is no investigation? How much money has been spent? What are the drawbacks under this? Because everything they wanted to whitewash it. Suddenly, the government is trying to whitewash the deficiencies here, and they are trying to hide the mistakes.
As I'm going to bring in the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson into this conversation, but Aparajita Sarangi, the fact is, it's not one leak which happened in the dome which was covered by panels of glass. Now, water similarly accumulated right opposite the Makar Dwar. Even that was flooded, and that's also part of the new Parliament building.
Now, I must tell here very candidly that yes, there was water near Makar Dwar. We take that route when we go inside the Lok Sabha. Now, let me tell you, there was heavy rains. I think we have seen the rains, the kind of rains, unprecedented level. Now, of course, the water accumulated there, but in no time through the drainage system with a clear-cut disposal point, entire water went off in the next 2 hours. So I think we really need to be not panic about anything. We have to understand the technical part of it. So the entire water, the entire water was not drained out by pumps of MCD.
All right, Akshay Marathe.
The entire water went.
These visuals might be disconcerting, especially the amount of money that has gone behind it, especially
so what's the big deal about it?
The fact that it is a spanking new building might be disconcerting, but there's no need to panic, and that's understandable. But there is a need, Akshay Marathe, to panic with what's going on in Delhi, because it does seem that the city not just fraying at its edges, it's on its deathbed.
Preeti, first of all, I'm confident that Delhi will bounce back. Delhi is going through a dark phase right now because of the petty politics of the Bharatiya Janata Party. But like they have been reduced to 240 seats this time, next time they will be reduced to even less than that, and we will see a Delhi that will emerge out of the shadows of the dirty governance model that the BJP has given the city of Delhi. Now, let me tell you why I'm saying that. I want to expand on the point.
Akshay Marathe,
Preeti,
dirty model of governance. Who is governing Delhi? It's you.
And don't interrupt me, and I will answer your question.
Please.
Because this is a very serious matter. We just heard how the Congress, the MP who spoke before me was describing how the BJP built the parliament building without consulting anybody else. In the same way, the Delhi Development Authority, DDA, which is responsible for planning the entire city. And I'm making a technical point, so just allow me to finish my point, please. The DDA is responsible for planning what part of Delhi should have which kinds of buildings, where should the streets be built, where should the drains be built. But unfortunately, the DDA is directly controlled by the central government. The state government has no role to play. It does not consult with the state government. It does not consult with the MCD and goes ahead and plans its own master plan for Delhi. And this is why we are seeing an urban mess in Delhi. If the BJP was serious about ensuring that urbanization happens in a sustainable and planned fashion, it will allow the Aam Aadmi Party government to play a role in the planning of Delhi. Tell me something, Preeti. The Uttar Pradesh Legislative Assembly also witnessed heavy rainfall, and we saw waterlogging in the Lucknow area as well. CM Yogi Adityanath had to be escorted out in a different route. Was the Aam Aadmi Party responsible for that? Of course not.
1 second.
So
the UP government is held responsible for all that takes place in the state of Uttar Pradesh, and it's not just waterlogging in Parliament. Akshay Marathe, children have died locked in a basement, so let's not even get in there. What happened in Rajinder Nagar, many would suggest, is blood on the hands there. So let's not,
are we interested in getting to the bottom of the problem,
Okay.
or are we interested in laying
Just,
blame
I
on
want to
the
take
Aam
final
Aadmi Party?
comments. Aparajita Sarangi, would you want to answer that? And I'll go back to Manikam Tagore then.
See, I can only say that the Delhi government should come out into the open and announce from the rooftop that we cannot handle Delhi. We quit the posts. We do not want to, be the part of the state government. We cannot run the state government. We are toothless tigers.
Okay.
See, they cannot absolve themselves of the responsibility.
But, all right.
People are dying. People are
Like
suffering.
I said, Aparajita Sarangi, it might be a completely unfair comparison, but what happens in politics is classic. You pass the buck. And Manikam Tagore, ultimately, it can be a state run by the Congress, or otherwise it's citizens who are collateral in the end.
Yeah, we accepted that these kind of issues we need to understand. As politicians, we can speak when we are in power, when we are not in power. But it is these institutions needs to be cared more, and we need to understand that at last the people suffers the most, and we have to understand the bureaucracy and the executing agencies, how they had made the mess and how things went. To correct it also is important. Now the problem here is the whitewash. Everything people wants to whitewash it and think that there is no mistake happened. Why I'm telling again and again, 2010, my BJP colleague, MP, Lok Sabha colleague has told the Congress has not done it in 2010. I was in the parliament, man. I will tell you that Jagadambika Pal was the MP in that time in Congress. He raised that issue in the parliament. There was a Meera Kumarji appointed a committee and where Mr. Chidambaram, Mr. Pawan Bansal, Mr. L.K. Advani were members of it. Well, let us face the problem. Why we are trying to whitewash it and put curtains into it that nothing has happened. Today there was a statement from the CPWD that as if nothing has happened. Everything is fine.
But Aparajita Sarangi, the point is, it's happened before. Why the arrogance to completely, brush it off the table as a small incident? It is huge because there is money of the country and its citizens invested in this building. If there are questions, they need to be cleared and answered.
We are aware of our responsibilities. We are aware of our responsibilities. Like AAP, we are not absolving ourselves of the responsibility. The CPWD officials went there and the CPWD officials inspected and in fact checked the thing, repaired the thing and have given a certificate saying that the structure and waterproofing systems are in good condition. There is absolutely no problem. The adhesive had got off and that's why this small thing happened. It will not happen again. The CPWD immediately sprung into action. So where is the question of arrogance, number one? Number two, why do they say that we are trying to put the entire thing under the carpet? Not at all. Otherwise, we would not have taken action so promptly. We understand there should be no leakage at all. It's 970 crore building and it's a new building. So I think they are making a mountain out of a molehill. We understand our responsibilities and I think whatever had to be done has been done.
Manikam Tagore, please answer and I'll bring in Akshay after that. Go ahead.
This attitude and the government is the problem because they don't understand. They call it as parliament as everybody's parliament. They call it that every member is important, every party is important. Let us not do politics. Let us work together. But what we are asking, the same thing has happened in an old building of 80 years old building. In that time, speaker reacted in a manner, government reacted in a manner, a completely different way. They were not just telling that we will send the CPWD, they will whitewash it and they will clear it, they will set the leakages seen. and they will give a certificate. Well, whether they are done like that, they ask the political leadership to sit together, see to it that what can be done, what are the corrective measures has to be taken. This attitude is the problem. People's money it is. That in that time, Britishers built that parliament. Here it is our taxpayers' money. 1 year before you had built a parliament where it is water is pouring inside the lobby, where Prime Minister is sitting 10 feet from there. Just want to say thing that CPWD has failed. Or what else?
Okay.
We have sent the engineers, everything is set right. Okay, guys, all is well. That is not done, madam. Please let us understand it is parliament. We can call it as Mandir of Temple of Democracy. Starting from Ram Mandir to this Temple of Democracy, everywhere leakage is happening. Why? That is my question.
Aparajita Sarangi, why? Akshay, I know you want to come in. Just one quick question. Aparajita Sarangi, please answer, and we'll bring in Akshay and close the show then.
I think Sri Manikam Tagorji has nothing to say. He is just repeating what he has been saying. I said this is a temple of democracy, belongs to everybody, the parliamentarians as well as the people of the country, 140 billion people, and we are all responsible. We don't absolve ourselves of the responsibility. CPWD has given a certificate. There was a small infrastructure problem, and that has been actually taken care of.
Okay, now I guess both sides are getting repetitive because Manikam Tagore is shaking his head and he's saying it's the attitude which is the problem, and you have Aparajita Sarangi saying you're making a mountain of a molehill. But we're going to let it at that, but we're going to keep a keen eye on all developments in Parliament. But Akshay Marathe, the fact is, the question that I want to ask you where Delhi is concerned. One can blame the Bharatiya Janata Party, one can blame the centre. But the larger question exists, what action is the Aam Aadmi Party taking? Have heads rolled in the MCD? Till now, Akshay Marathe, no. What is it that you as a government are doing under the current circumstances to keep your citizens secure?
Preeti, I want to request you, you are a journalist, you know that we cannot take action against any IAS officers in the city of Delhi. Only the BJP can take action. Do you agree with that or not?
I do agree, but I do also ask you, the MCD,
if you agree with me,
MCD is under you. And you can take action on the MCD.
Even with the MCD, you have been following Delhi. MCD Act was changed by Amit Shah just 1 year ago. You are a journalist. You please tell the people the truth. The MCD Act was changed and made to go directly under the central government.
Are you telling
let me finish my point.
Akshay Marathe, say to national television that you cannot take any action on for where any MCD officials regarding especially what went down in Rajendra Nagar is concerned. That it is beyond the jurisdiction of your government.
What I'm saying is the BJP forcefully took the power to take action against officials from us. Now I challenge the BJP to take action, fire those officers, suspend them, and show us that you are not trying to protect corruption. The elephant in the room is that there was massive corruption that the officials were protecting. And the officials who report directly to the Bharatiya Janata Party now are being protected by the Bharatiya Janata Party.
To us.
And we don't have the courage to ask questions to the BJP. When will they take action? The IAS officer who told the Minister of Delhi government that he will not accompany him to inspect the desilting site, that officer should be suspended. Why doesn't the BJP take that onus on itself? Because it has taken the power for itself. Then why doesn't it take the responsibility on itself?
Sarangi wants to answer. Go ahead, Aparajita Sarangi. There's a direct charge. You're making sure that the government looks inept while you're pulling the strings from the back.
I have every sympathy for the national spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. He is absolutely helpless. I can only request him to communicate to the bosses that he has. Just communicate that please leave the governance matters to the Bharatiya Janata Party. We will be handling all the civic matters very efficiently.
All right. You know, in midst of all the blame game, one thing I would think everyone would agree, including our panelists sadly, is the collateral is the citizen, because ultimately you've got to face the brunt. But thank you.